This is The World Now, bringing you the latest stories from around the globe. In Washington on Wednesday, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth confirmed that the U.S. military carried out an airstrike on Tuesday night in the eastern Pacific Ocean, destroying a suspected drug-carrying vessel and killing 2 people. It is the 8th U.S. strike against alleged cartel boats since operations began last month and is the first strike outside the Caribbean. A total of 34 people have been killed by the airstrikes. The U.S. Defense Secretary compared the airstrikes to the post-9/11 war on terrorism, saying, quote, "These cartels are waging war on our border and our people. There will be no refuge or forgiveness." The Trump administration claims the U.S. is in an armed conflict with drug cartels, designating them unlawful combatants under the same legal authority used in the war on terror. Some members of Congress are now demanding oversight, questioning the legality and the transparency of the airstrikes. In New York on Tuesday, an immigration enforcement sweep in Manhattan's Chinatown spiraled into chaos when a crowd of residents surrounded federal agents, blocking vehicles and clashing with officers during rush hour. The confrontation began around 4 p.m. as Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Border Patrol, and other federal agents moved along Canal Street, detaining vendors accused of selling counterfeit goods. A news reporter witnessed officers arresting at least one vendor selling phone cases before protesters gathered, chanting, quote, "ICE out of New York." According to the Department of Homeland Security, at least one person was arrested for assaulting an officer during the operation. New York City officials said Mayor Eric Adams had no prior knowledge of the sweep, condemning it as a misuse of law enforcement resources. In western Uganda early Wednesday, at least 46 people were killed when 2 buses and 2 other vehicles collided on the highway between Kampala and Gulu near the town of Kirandongo. The crash happened just after midnight Tuesday local time when both buses tried to overtake a truck and a car and slammed head-on to each other. A Ugandan Red Cross spokesperson described the scenes of, quote, bleeding victims and broken limbs, calling it one of the country's most devastating road accidents. Authorities say reckless overtaking and speeding remain the leading causes of crashes on Uganda's narrow highways. Investigators are continuing to examine the cause of the crash. Researchers in the U.S. have found that some COVID-19 vaccines may help cancer patients live longer. The researchers at MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston and the University of Florida found that the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines may help some cancer patients by strengthening their immune response to treatment. The study, published on Wednesday in the journal Nature, analyzed nearly 1,000 patients with advanced lung and skin cancers taking checkpoint inhibitor drugs. Those who received an mRNA vaccine within 100 days of starting therapy had significantly higher survival rates, with lung cancer patient 3-year survival rates nearly doubling. Scientists say the mRNA molecule that powers the vaccines act like a siren, activating immune cells throughout the body. The findings are preliminary, but researchers are planning larger trials to test pairing mRNA vaccines with cancer immunotherapy. 주지현, ArirangNews.